You're listening to the Huddle Up Podcast with Chad Jensen and Zack Kelberman. Join Broncos Country's deep divers at milehighhuddle.com and sound off. And now it's time to drop some knowledge.
Okay, we are live, but you all know the drill. We got to let it breathe just for a moment while we bring on our Facebook clan. Get everybody under the same roof here. Hold your horses. Kick back just for a second. Don't worry. And we are good. Welcome in, everybody, to the Huddle Up Podcast, presented, as always, by Mile High Huddle. I'm your host, Chad Jensen, and with me, as always, my partner in crime. You know him, you love him, my fellow football priest and the deputy editor of milehighhuddle.com. He is Zack Kelberman. Zack, we have a really fun, unique show for the community tonight that we're excited to get to here in just a moment. Our guest for this evening, Mr. Graham Glasgow. But how are you doing today, brother?
I'm really excited for this. I certainly appreciate Graham's time and giving us the opportunity to talk with him. We've been looking forward to this podcast for a while, and we hope our audience is excited. But other than that, Chad, 8 days away. As we were talking to him right before we went on, it's fast approaching, and we'll know a certain major answer about the Broncos in just a little over a week's time. So I'm really pumped up for that.
Guys, so here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to kind of reorder the show just a little bit. We're going to get to matters of business, all that stuff, our sponsor. We're going to do that halfway through the show after we talk with Graham. But first thing we want to do before we introduce Graham and bring him on is we want to explain to you what part of the purpose of tonight's show is we need the Mile High Huddle superstars to flex big and hard. All right, we need you guys to come out in force because what we're doing here tonight is we are driving to support Graham's foundation, which is called the First Step Foundation. I'm just going to give you guys really quick here a quick peek at what this is. We'll talk to Graham and find out what it's all about. But what we're asking tonight is, as you guys know, we rarely come out and directly ask you to support the show and super chat and donate money. But kind of like last year when the pandemic hit and we did that big drive to raise money for the pandemic and Mile High Huddle matched it, we're doing a similar thing tonight for the First Step Foundation. So what we want to say to you guys is get geared up, get excited, get your comments, get your questions in on Super Chat. And then what's going to happen is we'll get those in front of Graham, time willing. All right. And then Mile High Huddle after the show. All right. We're going to make that donation to the First Step Foundation. We're going to match what you guys bring to the table as a collective of MHH superstars. So we are super excited about that and can't wait to also pick Graham's brain. So without further ado, let's bring the man on. All right. He is the starting right guard for your Denver Broncos and a burgeoning Twitch stream superstar himself, Graham Glasgow in the house. Graham, welcome, my friend. Thank you for coming on. We really do appreciate the time and hope you're doing well.
Hey, no problem. I'm happy to be here.
Before we get into some of the topics we want to get to tonight, and real quick, gang, just for what it's worth, we're not going to go into the quarterback rumors. This man's job is to protect whoever takes that snap under center. We're not going to put him in that position. So what we're going to do is steer away from that. We're going to talk about some really cool, interesting type of topics that you're not going to hear on the kind of canned radio type interviews that players are used to doing. But first and foremost, Graham, real quick, before we get into some of that, just talk about what the First Step Foundation is all about, what it means to you.
Okay. So basically what the First Step Foundation does is they take people who have been in car accidents or unfortunate, circumstances or stuff along those lines who have very slim chances to walk, and through rehab and therapy, they basically try to work them up to the point where they can, walk with a walker and stuff like that. These people basically have very, very slim chances of ever walking again. So they work with these people all the time. And up here we have what happened to one of my old teammates on Christmas Eve. Him and his family got into a car accident. His father passed away, and his brother had as it said here, 1% chance of walking again. So the guy who came up with First Step Foundation was the strength coach at Michigan at the time. He would work with Brock, like basically on the side, like while doing everything that a strength coach has to do, like for being a strength coach of a major D1 program. And basically he went out there one day, like with this walker, touched the banner and led the Wolverines out there. And then he also walked down the aisle, I think maybe a year after that, in his own wedding. So it's an awesome foundation. They do a lot for people in, circumstances I feel like that you don't really hear about a lot of the time.
Very cool. Very cool. John, I'm just see here already. We've got some pretty hardcore flexes coming out from the community, including from Mark Langley. If you want to get some of those queued up, Mark Langley in the house, Michaela in the house. These are some of our superstars, Graham, as we call them on our show. Those who are very generous in how they support the show live. We got Drew in the house. Got to work. Excited to watch when I get home. Appreciate you, Drew.
Thank you, Drew.
And again, guys, keep it flowing because Mile High Huddle, we're going to match every dollar on Super Chat tonight for the First Step Foundation. But Graham, real quick, when it comes to there's a topic that we've always had a suspicion on, but I'm curious to get your thoughts, and that is Pro Football Focus. All right. So back in the day, I used to get DMs from players they would ask me, hey, what was my PFF grade for Sunday's game? And I'd look it up because I had the subscription or whatever in media, and I'd look it up and give it to you. Now I know a lot of teams are actually have the subscription and they use PFF. But nevertheless, how do you view Pro Football Focus and the grading and all that stuff?
I think that I'm not going to say that it's all bullshit because I don't think it is. But I think that, what they do for actual NFL programs with like a lot of their scouting stuff, and they basically will break down like they have a lot of data that they break down, I think, that a lot of teams find very valuable, like run percentage or pass percentage out of certain formations, or, you get a lot of stuff like that that makes the coaches' jobs a lot easier. But when it comes to actual like playing, I mean, I feel like offensive line play might be one of the harder things for maybe them to kind of grade, because I mean, half the time, if you're on a primetime game, the grades seem to be out 20 minutes after the game is over somehow.
Right.
Watched 22 players on the field at one point in time, and then 20 minutes after the game's over, the grades are out somehow. Good on them, whatever. But they don't always know the plays. They don't always know what's happening. But overall, I think that they do more good than bad. But I take all the grades with a grain of salt. I don't take it as the law, if a player's good or bad.
That's what we preach on the show all the time. It's not the end all be all. It's so subjective, and it's one person's or a couple people's opinions on a certain player. Now, Graham, about you personally, tell us about the acclimation process coming to Denver from Detroit. Was that a culture shock for you? Where are you now compared to last year? What's different for you? Are you excited about this coming season? Tell us personally where Graham Glasgow is going into 2021.
Well, I mean, I can even take it back to when the Lions had played the Broncos in December of 2019.
Right.
We had an 8-play drive to start the game, and after play 5, I felt like we had played the entire game. I was so tired. I was like, what the hell is going on? So coming here and not really having like a full camp or a full preseason of things, like where you get used to having preseason games or going out there and actually seeing what it's like in the altitude. That was something that probably took me a little bit to get used to. And I mean, I view it more as like an awesome advantage that we have here. I mean, I see that the D line is significantly more tired than we are, particularly at the end of the year. And I think that, in those regards, it's awesome, but it's not, getting used to it wasn't particularly fun, but, going into 2021, I feel like, I didn't go anywhere. I've stayed here the whole off season. I've been in Denver the whole time. Love the area. Think it's a fantastic place to live. And I'm ready to go. I think that a lot of us on the offensive line are ready to get going and make sure that we have an awesome year.
John, do you have by chance, let's grab this super chat from Mark Langley. Appreciate you, Mark. He says, quote, "We have Mr. Graham. Pleasure to have you, sir. Tell Mr. Garrett my apologies of making fun of him eating a lot of crow. Just, people that were skeptics of Bulls. What do you expect in the draft, Mr. Graham? #HuddleUpPod. I don't know how far, Graham, down that rabbit hole you want to go, but from a superstar supporting the cause, there's a question for you.
Yeah, no. I feel like what makes this draft particularly interesting is, I feel like it can go in any way, in any direction. I could see him trading up. I could see him staying in the same spot. I could see him trading down. I think it all just kind of comes down to, I'm not in the meetings, Mark, but I don't know who they've really got their eyes on. But I think that we have a lot of positions that could get fortified by like a first round pick. So I'm not quite sure. I mean, it could literally be all over the board. But in regards to Garrett though, he really had an awesome season last year. He worked really really hard, and I had never met him before, last year. So I don't know like what like you watch film and stuff, but like that's about it. So props to him. I'm super happy that he came out and played really well.
You mentioned the offensive line, Graham, real quick before we get to Tyler. You have foundational pieces. You mentioned Garrett Bowles. He's a top 3 tackle in the NFL. You have Dalton Reisner. You have Lloyd Cushenberry, obviously yourself. Juwan James, hopefully coming back this year. It'd be a big boon for you guys. With Mike Munchak's guidance, do you feel like collectively you could be a top 10, top 5 even group in the NFL?
I could definitely see us at least being top 10. I mean, when I came here, that was probably, like we talked about, like the shock of things. Having him as an offensive line coach was genuinely awesome for me. Like, I don't think I've had that like level of coaching and that level of detail when it comes to actually like going about your business in pass protection or run blocking in my entire career. And I felt like in a lot of ways that actually helped me out, particularly in pass protection. So I could definitely see everybody coming together and like, Lloyd coming into year 2 and getting his sea legs under him right away, and all of us just kind of. I mean, I work out with Juwan. I've been working out with him for the past couple of weeks. He's looking good, and I've been working out with Moody and Dalton and Lloyd all off season. So I mean, I don't see why we can't just go out there and do everything that we set our mind to.
You heard that, Broncos country. Mike Munchak, most detailed position coach for Graham. There's a reason why Mike Munchak has been such a coveted O-line coach, and I'm sure a little of that something has to do with that gold jacket as a former player himself. But Graham, we got in here from one of our superstars, Tyler, jumping in with an extremely, extremely generous donation.
Thank you, Tyler.
He says, Graham, now let me see here. Let me proofread these real quick. All right, here we go. Graham, 2 quick questions. How's the rehab going? And 2, what needs to happen between now and the start of the season for the Broncos to be in contention? Appreciate you taking the time out of your incredibly busy schedule to join this phenomenal show. Hashtag much love 61, hashtag Denver Broncos for life.
Well, I had basically the rehab stuff was done right about the beginning of February. It was a lot of stuff for my shoulder and then a lot of stuff for my knee. So that's feeling great. I'm not really having any issues with either of those anymore, which is really, really good. So I you know what, Tyler? I appreciate it. Thank you. And I think that what came down to the reason that we had lost a lot of our games last year was the turnovers. I mean, we had to be last in the NFL, I feel like, in turnovers at one point in time. And I felt like if we didn't give the other offense a short field, or if we weren't taking points off the board for us, I mean, we were maybe last in the NFL for, I don't exactly know the stats, but in that category, and we won 5 games. Typically, like if somebody's last in the league in turnovers, they're winning 1 or 2. So, and we had a lot of really, really close games that were decided by turnovers. So I think that that's probably what we would need to get taken care of.
Zach, we have a few supers to catch up on real quick. Kathy Lund, appreciate you, my friend, jumping in, very generous. She says, "Go Broncos!" Hashtag state of being. John, we got Edward Keating in the house, another great superstar. What's up, Graham Glasgow? I don't know if you have Chase Wellner by chance. He's got an interesting question that we could maybe throw Graham's way. And by the way, Graham, we're already at 14 minutes. When it's time, when you need to dip out, you say the word. But we've got some people that are showing the love, showing the money, that have some questions for you.
Yeah, no, I can keep it going for at least another 5.
Okay, here we go. So, John, if you have access to Chase, grab him. In the meantime, Graham, I got a question for you. This one's a little bit different.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Who's your funniest teammate? Who makes you laugh?
I think, honestly, I feel like it's Vaughn, and I feel like he's like such a interesting personality, and he's very eccentric, and I think that I mean, I don't know if he's always making me like straight up laugh, like, it's not like he's going up there and performing stand up, but like he's like when I'm talking to Vaughn, I usually have a smile on my face. I think he's a very interesting dude. Awesome teammate.
Right on. All right. From Chase Wellner. Appreciate you, Chase.
Thank
He
you.
says, Graham, thanks for coming on. It means a lot to us. Over the course of your career, you have faced many great defenders. Who do you consider the toughest to block, or even one that stands out?
Good question.
I think that this is by far and away Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald might be, if he wasn't a defensive tackle, I think that he could probably be in contention for like MVP of the NFL. If like MVP would actually select like a defensive player. Like he had that one season, I think he had over 20 sacks as a 3 technique, which doesn't happen. And I mean, he's genuinely he's very quick. He's very strong. He's also little. So like the guys who are little are like hard to block because, they don't really have a lot to hold on to. And also he's just genuinely good. He's like very skilled. So by far and away, I would have to say Aaron Donald.
Now, which Broncos defender would you say is the toughest to block one-on-one?
Just based on who I have to deal with at practice every day, I would have to say Draymond. I think Draymond has a lot of upside. I think he's a particularly good rusher. I mean, I think that if he was breaking out the moves he busted on me in practice, I think he would have, around 10 sacks a year. But I think that he has a lot of upside. I think he'll be really good for us here in the coming year.
All right, Graham, I'm gonna grab this comment and then a question, and then we'll thank you for your time and cut you loose here. But from Christian, aka Team Jokic, he says, "Hey Graham, I'm from Michigan. I followed you at the U of M, and my second favorite team is the Lions, behind the Broncos, obviously. So I've been watching you forever. Much love, and love the stash. Hashtag let him hate." So he's loving that stash you got going there.
Yeah, I mean, I try to keep it going all year round. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy with it and have a beard around it, but I always come back to it. It started out as a joke, and then turns out it's not a joke anymore. I like it. But I appreciate it, man, and thank you.
All right, last one here from Safe Shield Security Screens and Doors. And by the way, guys, as you know, we're going to get to every super chat tonight, but obviously, as you can probably understand and appreciate, Graham's time is precious and limited. So here's one from Safe Shield Security Screens and Doors. Graham, what is your opinion of Netani Muti?
I think he's got a lot of things going for him. He's really young. He's very strong. Might be the strongest man I think I've ever seen in my life. He's also just genuinely enthusiastic, I feel like, about everything we do. It's time to practice. I don't think I've ever seen Netani complain about going to practice or anything, or really complain about anything. I think that he has a bright future ahead of him. I think he needs to work on a couple things. He's very strong, and sometimes guys who are strong can be a little bit stiff. And sometimes I'm just gonna build him up. I'm gonna build him up. I'm not gonna say the negatives. Awesome dude, great guy, love him.
Awesome.
I would let him date my daughter if I had.
Graham, I got to do it real quick. I know you got to go, but record prediction 2021. Go.
I could see us being at least 11-5. I could see us being 11-5 and going from there.
11-6 now, I guess.
Yeah. Fuck. Sorry. Shoot. Dang it. My bad.
Do the same thing.
Yeah, I could see it being 11-6, 12-5. That's gonna take a little while to get used to, actually, thinking about the difference there. But yeah, I could see us winning 11 or 12 games.
You heard it here, Broncos country. All right, guys, as we say goodbye to Graham for tonight, I just want to remind you that he's putting up some content over on Twitch. So
Please.
We'll drop the link in the chat so you guys can just link right on over there. But as you can see, not hard to find. All you gotta do is Google Graham Glasgow Twitch.
Mature content, though, only if you're mature. Only, we're having fun. We're having a good time over there.
Only if you can handle maybe a cuss word here and there without going too crazy. Also, guys, again, we are going to match every super chat from tonight, and it's going to go to the First Step Foundation, which is very near and dear to Graham's heart. So we appreciate the support and the outpouring that we've already seen tonight. And trust me, we're going to get to every single super chat. But thanks to each and every one of you for supporting the cause here and for First Step, to really help kind of give a little boost, what modest boost we can help give the First Step Foundation. So Graham, thanks for coming on. It really has been a pleasure to chat with you. We appreciate you making the time, and we wish you the best in 2021 and with what remains in the off season, and camp will be here before you know it, preseason and all that. So again, thanks for joining us.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your podcast.
All right,
thanks,
man.
Graham.
Appreciate it. There he goes, Graham Glasgow. Really down to earth, really, really just chill, cool, accessible, easygoing guy. I mean, this is the type of guy that you can just talk to, and we really appreciate it. Here's another generous super chat from across the pond.
Wow.
It looks like that's a euro, right? From Olio. And that's not a name we recognize for what it's worth, Graham. This is a new name that's coming in here. He says, or she, honestly, thanks to all of MHH, even as a new football interested and Broncos fan biased, is that even a word? LOL. Dude, you guys always deliver an insight on the current situation. Much appreciation from Deutschland. Wow. Very cool. Appreciate that, Olio. Does mean a lot to us. So appreciate you. All right. Guys, we still have many of your supers to get to. And hey, listen, if you had a direct question for Graham and we weren't able to get it right in front of him, just know that super chat, all right, is going to a really good cause tonight. We're still going to give you your love. We're still going to get to you and address each and every super chat tonight. But Zach, we can see it at the top here. I mean, I have no idea yet till we're done with the show, but it's redonkulous, off the chain support from the community. So we needed MHH to stand up, show out, and flex hard to help Graham and his cause, and they did so with gusto. I feel like a proud papa right now.
I'm impressed, but I'm not surprised. Broncos country always comes through. I've been saying it since we've been podcasting, at least, Chad. It's the best fan base in the entire NFL, and we have the best listenership among any Broncos or NFL-related podcast out there. So on behalf of Graham, on behalf of the foundation, we appreciate it, guys, and keep it coming tonight.
All right, guys, we have a lot of different Bronco topics to get to still tonight. And as many of your super chats that we haven't gotten to yet, we're going to get to them. But we do got to say thank you to the presenting sponsor of tonight's live stream pod. And of course, you guessed it, that's Manscaped. Guys, the sun's shining. It's warming up across the fruited plain. If you're in the northern hemisphere right now, the sun's coming out. So that means that's your cue to make sure you've got your male grooming on point, and there's nobody better to help you do that than Manscaped, who've helped over 2 million men around the world do just that, offering precision engineered tools for your family jewels. So maybe you've been putting off some of those New Year's resolutions, or maybe you just need a little boost, a little spark to help you really attack the coming spring and summer. Manscaped's here to help you do that.
I'll tell you what, Chad, we got to get Graham a kit on the arm for his mustache and for his upkeep, because I can tell you personally, I use it all the time. And as you can see right now, my beard is getting a little long, gets a little scraggly. I'm going to clean it up before tomorrow's podcast. Spoiler alert for anyone paying attention to my personal hygiene, but I use Manscaped for that purpose because, guys, whether you're indoors, outdoors, no matter your occupation, no matter who you are or what you're doing in this world, you want to look better and feel better. And I'm going to keep it very short and sweet. Manscaped allows you to feel that way and look that way and exist that way in 2021 and beyond.
That's right, guys. It's the star of the show for Manscaped is the Lawnmower 3.0, as you can see right here. All right, you got the light that illuminates the undercarriage, skin-safe technology, prevent those nicks and cuts. And then you can take it in the shower with you, and this thing, the battery lasts forever. So head on over to manscaped.com, and if you use the code HUDDLE, you're going to get 20% off plus free shipping, and your boys down below, they're going to say, hats off, dude. Thank you.
That's right. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code HUDDLE at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code HUDDLE.
All right, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you. I see so many questions here. Christian, as you know, we didn't get your question directly in front of Graham, but Graham did answer that. He did, thanks to Zach. Zach had your back. He saw your super, and he made sure to get an outlook on 2021 for Graham. So appreciate you, my friend.
An
Zach,
11 or 12 win season. I love it. Love the confidence.
We are glass half full people on this show. All right. And so it's always great to find that not so much a kindred spirit, but just a fellow person that tries to, how can you expect to succeed at something, Zach, if you don't have the expectation of success, right? You got to at least expect it. And, if you got to be disappointed, you got to be disappointed.
Yeah, glass half full and glass half go. Sorry, bad joke. Anyway.
Good stuff. All right. At Huddle Up Pod on Twitter, connect with us over there. Also at Mile High Huddle on Twitter. Our great producer, Buana Beast, who set all this up, making sure that we had the right day, the right time to get Graham on the show. At John K. MHH on Twitter. Credit to John for getting this all set up. Myself, you can find me, connect with me on Twitter at Chad and Jensen. And then, guys, become a supporter. As you saw tonight, we are doing some new stuff, all right? And if you want access to every little piece of content that we're going to be cranking out here in 2021, you want to make sure, first off, that you're a supporter on Facebook. It's $5 a month. You get access to all of our premium video shows right now, which include Kelberman's Corner every Sunday at noon, the Trickle Zone every Saturday at noon. So just head on over to Mile High Huddle's Facebook page. It is not hard to find. You'll notice there's about almost 100,000 fellow Broncos fans following that page. Click the big blue button. You're in like Flynn. Check out the merch store when you get a sec, huddleuppod.com. Get your swag on, get a hat, get a tee, etc. And if you're not in a position to do those things, we're just stoked to have you with us. No lie. Seriously, thank you for being with us. Please subscribe. Please like. It's crucial on YouTube and Facebook. And then number 3, the litmus test. If we're doing a good job for you, or at the very least, you respect the effort, share this video out there and help us continue to grow and reach new like-minded Broncos fans just like you. All right, Zach, we gotta blaze through our superstars, but a couple quick things I wanted to pick your brain on. Tell me about your Teddy Bridgewater article today and what the scuttlebutt is there.
Well, it's that time of the year where aggregation reigns supreme, and Bleacher Report put out a piece about the top 5 most likely trade deals to go down during the NFL draft, not before, not after, during the annual offseason spectacle. And the Bleacher Report writer Maurice Moton, he had the Broncos acquiring Teddy Bridgewater at the cost not of a first rounder, second rounder, third rounder, fourth rounder, a 5th round pick. I don't know how likely that is, Chad. It might be that they'll take less Carolina if they don't redo his contract. I just don't see any way they're going to pay a backup, which is what he would be, $17 million. He has a salary cap number over $22 million. That has to come down. So unless he's released outright or Carolina agrees, as Mike Kliss previously reported, a prerequisite to a trade is them, Carolina, assuming the burden of that contract. If they want to do that, then maybe he can be flipped for a mid-round pick. But there's no way George Paton is going to pay $17 million for a backup, and not really a great one at that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree in terms of the contract. And this was something, excuse me, I want to say it was Mike Kliss reported at some point back in March that unless Bridgewater is willing to, renegotiate his deal, it's a non-starter, basically. So the Broncos, in other words, would have some preconditions before they would even come to the table and talk to Carolina seriously about giving up anything. So Teddy would have to be amenable to that. But at the same time, Zach, one of the reasons why the more I think about this, the less I think it ends up happening is because, you know what, Teddy's in kind of a tight spot because of, the Sam Darnold situation. But he's also smart enough to know that if he forces Carolina's hand and, they cut him, or for an example, dude, he can go out and get that. First of all, he's got a lot of money already on the books this year that they have to pay Carolina. He's got some serious guaranteed coin. I want to say that $17 million, that's the full guarantee on 2021, whether he's on the roster or not, they got to pay him that. But even if he's not, he can go out and there's going to be a small handful of teams, even if, all it takes is one. But I'm telling you, teams that are looking for a spot starter or even a guy that, there's always going to be that ubiquitous coach out there, Zach, that thinks, hey, I had a first-round grade on Teddy. If I could only get him in my system, everything would be different. That's going to be willing to pay that money. So Teddy's kind of in that driver's seat where, look, maybe you want to reunite with George Paton, who was part of the team that drafted you in Minnesota, but you're not going to take a haircut. You're not going to take a bath for the privilege.
Yeah, I mean, you could say he has leverage. I think the Panthers have leverage as well because he's under contract, and if he wants to go somewhere else, they could say, too bad, you signed a deal, you have to honor that deal. We wouldn't want to keep you as an overpriced $17 million backup, but, whatever happens, happens. And I still say this, Chad, there is a decent chance that Sam Darnold does not end the season as the Panthers starter. They might draft someone, he might get hurt, he might get benched for poor play. This is not the, set it and forget it type of quarterback solution in Carolina. So both sides, Bridgewater and the Panthers, have to meet in the middle. There needs to be, though, an external factor pushing them toward the middle, though. Otherwise, I think they're going to keep it status quo. That external factor, I don't know how many teams are beating down Teddy Bridgewater's door right now, but that could be George Payton if he wants to reunite with his former quarterback. He also has other options out there. As I wrote in the article, Chad, the quarterback well is pretty much dried up after Alex Smith retired. It's either Bridgewater, it's Nick Foles in Chicago, or Gardner Minshew in Jacksonville. Bridgewater would be the safest bet, considering his play style. He's also the most expensive, though, because neither Foles nor Minshew would cost what Bridgewater would cost.
Real quick, tip of the cap to Mark Langley, who has, you want to talk about the top rope. If this was WrestleMania in, Name the Dome, this guy jumped from the top of the dome. All right. This
is Mankind Undertaker, top of the cave. Mark Langley.
Thank you. Mark, dude, off the chain. Shout out to you. Shout out to Michaela, who we touched on earlier.
The Duchess.
Mark, again, another off the dome.
Thank you, Mark.
Stu Meat in the house as well. Appreciate you, Stu. He says, How's it? Going good, bro. It's going good. Seth Harmon with the super sticker. Thumbs up to you. Appreciate you, brother. And again, guys, every dollar from tonight's super chat is getting matched by Mile High Huddle, and it's going to Graham Glasgow's charity. It's not his, but it's his. He's trying to help out and really shine a light on a cause that is near and dear to his heart, as you guys heard at the top of the show when we brought Graham on, why the First Step Foundation is so crucial to him. Whoops. Sorry, John. Go ahead. Tommy, appreciate you. And again, some of these that you have
I wish we would have got this one.
I wish we had more time. I'm sure we'll be able to
that's a good one.
Invite Graham back on the show at some point. And so we'll try and see if we can't get that in front of him in the future. But he wanted to know, Graham, will you miss Philip Lindsay on the field, and who's going to replace that production? An interesting question, Zach. It would have been interesting.
I don't know how much Graham kind of gelled with Philip Lindsay. Obviously, he wasn't around for Lindsay's maiden season in 2018, and Graham was injured for some parts of last year. But it definitely hurts the Broncos locker room. And based on what Graham told us, it's a very tight-knit group, Chad, and all the players respect each other, and they cannot really be happy about seeing a spark plug, the engine of the offense, if you want to call him that, Philip Lindsay, go. But it's a business. They still have Melvin Gordon. They have Royce Freeman. They might invest a second, third-round pick in a running back. Who replaces that production? That would be the $8 million a year running back in Melvin Gordon, who feels – what was the quote he recently put out there, Chad, about Melvin Gordon? He said he feels – forgotten or some things along the lines of that. He feels like he's miscast or he's not really respected. Well, if he wants that respect, if he wants to be recognized, he has to go out there and earn that money. He didn't perform like an $8 million a year running back. He was like a 7 out of 10 last year. The Broncos are paying him to be a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, for what it's worth, what Zach's addressing here is the quote from Melvin that was he said, I feel like I'm so overlooked. Whatever that case may be, we didn't get a lot of TV time with the Chargers. And last year with splitting the ball and fans not being there because of the pandemic, I don't know. But I got
split the ball with the Chargers too.
Yeah, most definitely.
What are you talking about?
Most definitely. Boggins, we did get to that topic. Appreciate the support. He sounds pretty bullish, does Graham, on the Broncos offensive line.
Yes.
We just need those ducks to fall in a row, right? We just need the ducks to fall and Mr. Juwan James to report for duty.
Chad, he mentioned that he's been working out with Juwan James. So we all kind of clowned Juwan for sitting out last year, but at least he's following through on the reports that we've heard so far, and he's doing things to make himself better. He's working out, and he's trying to be involved with the team. So that's definitely encouraging at this point.
Most definitely. Michael, shout out to you. Also, Ronjo27, appreciate you, bro. Can't always listen live, just showing some love, and especially Foda Foundation. Great work, guys. Appreciate you. Very proud of MHH today. Very, very, very proud of MHH. Albert, looking forward to seeing you on the show here in just a couple of weeks, my friend. It's going to be fun. Kathy, we grabbed Safe Shield. Dale Rudd, or is it Rude? I forget now. Dale. Yes, we're going to bring you on the show, my dog. I'll get back to you on that soon. But he said, no question, just taking the chance to support a worthy cause. And thank you for all you do. Appreciate you, brother. Also, Kika had an actual comment with his super chat, which was, oops, doing my first super, and I didn't get to put it in a message. LOL, glad I'm able to catch the show. Love y'all. Broncos country. Aloha. By the way, is it Kika or Kiaka? I'm curious. I don't want to botch it. Correct the record in the chat, my friend. Edward Keating, Mr. Castillo. How do you feel having a year of 4 or 5 starters back? It's a lot of fans. You had their back. You had this question. You saw the super chats. So how are you feeling about this O-line, Zach?
I mean, based on what he said, there's no reason if they play collectively, they stay healthy, and they play to their potential. Why can't this be a top 10 line, Chad? Garrett Bowles is locking down the blind side, the most important position on the offensive line. You have Lloyd Cushenberry, who looks like a foundational piece. Glasgow, who is coming back from injury, he should be a consistent, solid player for them. They can get the Miami Dolphins level of Juwan James. That's obviously a boon for them. That's a top 10 right tackle in the NFL. And then Dalton Reisner, if he plays closer to 2019 Dalton Reisner, not 2020 Reisner, there's no reason to believe under the tutelage of Mike Munchak, as Graham said, the best in the business by far, there's no reason why, with some luck, they can't be a top unit in the NFL.
I thought it was interesting, too, that he talked about the detail. He never had a position coach that was detail-oriented as Mike Munchak, which, I think that's one of the reasons he's as renowned as he is, he's playing 4D chess as he teaches his guys and everyone else playing 2D or 3D, right? Shulier, appreciate you, my friend. Excited to watch tomorrow morning. Thanks for the time. Appreciate you. Andy in the house. Love what you're doing with the foundation. Graham, can't wait for the season to start up again. Looking forward to seeing some pancakes along that OL. Love that, dude. Appreciate you, Andy.
Chad, how about Graham saying that, complimenting Netani Muti as the strongest player he's ever interacted with? And not only that, I love the fact that he kept trying to build him up and compliment him and praise him, considering Muti very much could be the player that inherits the torch from Glasgow. He can end up replacing Glasgow in the starting lineup down the road for the future. And I thought it was interesting that so far, he's very limited player last year, but already making an impact in the Broncos locker room.
And for what it's worth, all right, the combine record for most reps on the bench was Stephen Paya, the defensive lineman from Oregon State. He threw up 49 reps. That's the record. Netani, 44. He was dang close. 44 reps on the bench. Bill, appreciate you, brother. And he's shouting out, Graham, thanks for being here. Love it. Denver Broncos for life. Go O-line. Zach, Burton the guitarist, wondering how the locker room culture is here compared to Detroit. Any good stories? We touched on that topic a little bit with who's the funniest, and he also shared some other interesting nuggets there. But Zach, as you know, we ran out of time, so we're going to get him. We're going to invite him back on the show in the near future. So appreciate you, Zach, and we're looking forward to having you on the show. It's the latter. Kayaka. Cool. Good to know, my friend.
Cool name. Kayaka Mondragon.
Yes.
Mondragon. I don't want to butcher it.
Dude,
it got to be French.
If I had a name like that, I'm ready to go slay a dragon. All right? I'm ready. Gears, Gains, and Games Productions. Appreciate you. Love you guys. We love you too. All right, let's see. We're at 39 minutes, so we got a little time here. I just want to catch up to as many as possible. And, John, the stream just did a jump on me, so let me tell you where I'm at here. I'm at Travis Weber at 632, and in between, I just want to make sure we shout out, even if some of these questions we weren't quite able to get in front of Graham, I want to make sure every superstar gets his shout out from us or her shout out from us. And let me just do a quick once over here. All right, we got everyone there. We got everyone there from let me just double check here. All right, Willie. We need Willie. We need Glenn. We need Dennis, Roger, Edward again, Travis, and there's another one from Kiyaka. Kiyaka, did I botch it again? Kiyaka, I think so. Kayaka. There's another one from Kayaka. Travis, Chris Bush, Justin Martin, Straightforward, James Boyd, etc. So, Travis, thank you for the super chat, buddy. He says he's ready for the draft and the season. Yes, indeed, Zach. It is soon upon us, the NFL draft. And this Sunday night, we're doing our MHH roundtable mock draft, as is the tradition, and it's going to be fun.
I'm really excited, and 8 days from now, we will have an answer as to who's quarterbacking Denver this coming season. I think that's the biggest debate in Broncos country this entire offseason, Chad. We've been campaigning till we're blue in the face for who we think is going to be the guy, but we'll have some certainty in only 8 days' time, so I'm very, very much looking forward to that.
Christopher L. Bush, Ph.D., the doctor, is on call and in the house, showing the support. Appreciate that, brother. Willie, you the man, giving Graham a shout-out, and a shout-out to John as well. Yes, also, of course, his obligatory Drew Lock emojis. So love you, Willie. And, yeah, all props to John. Did all the legwork, get this set up. Great producer. All right, it's more than just the ones and the twos. It's the behind-the-scenes stuff that fans and listeners don't always see that really separates the wheat from the chaff when it comes to a good producer, Zach.
You saw it when you were on vacation, Chad, and it was just John and I holding down the fort when we didn't have his producing prowess. The show was kind of unglued, so he does a lot for the show, and he's the real MVP behind the scenes.
Glenn Hauser, longtime superstar. He's shouting out Graham. This team seems so close to breaking out with talent. What do you think needs to happen for the Broncos to make the playoffs? Thanks for joining. We kind of were in that realm with your question about the outlook. I think he really did answer that, like in a very real way. And Glenn, hopefully it was illuminating for you as it was for us to hear how bullish he is on the 2021 season for Denver.
He also said the biggest downfall last year was turnover. So I think to answer the question, I think that they would need to cut down on that to change that aspect of the Broncos offense. Don't turn the ball over, play solid fundamental football, push the ball down the field, and score points and let the defense do the rest. If they can do that, Chad, as Graham laid out, you will see a team that can maybe win 11 or 12 games this year. It's not crazy. It's not out of the realm of possibility considering their talent level.
We need Dennis, John. We need Roger, another one from Edward, Kayaka, and we're good. By the way, Dave, thank you for the reminder. Guys, have you been checking out Broncos for Breakfast every Tuesday and Thursday morning with Nick Kendall and Scott Kennedy right here at MHH, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, you can check that content out. And so tonight, of course, it's Wednesday night. That's your reminder. Your drive time, 8 a.m. tomorrow, Mountain Time, 10 Eastern. It's a little bit later for drive time on the East Coast and even Central, but still 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Don't miss Broncos for Breakfast. They're really putting out some killer content. Dennis, you the man. Appreciate you, brother. And this is a Michigander. All right, this is a guy from Michigan. He says, thank you for your work and with your foundation. Hope you have a great year. Go Broncos from Michigan. And don't worry, guys. If we weren't able to directly get your question right in front of Graham, he'll see these. Okay, trust. We're going to make sure he sees all your messages. So don't fret. Justin, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that generosity. Just wanted to stop in, say hey, and contribute a little. Thanks, guys. Great show so far. Much obliged, my friend. Thank you. And it's going for a great cause tonight, especially. I mean, we appreciate your support on the nightly, but tonight it's for a unique and special cause close to the heart of the starting right guard of your Denver Broncos. So very proud of all of you. And Roger, too. Proud of Roger Goodkey in the house. Hi, guys. Sorry, been a while. Prayers for my sister. Oh, no, who's losing the battle to cancer. I'm so sorry to hear that, Roger. I am seriously. I'm really sorry to hear that. There's nothing like the prospect. Who knows? Hopefully a miracle. Hopefully, it'll turn around. But there is nothing like losing someone close to you and your family. And so our thoughts and prayers are with you and your sister.
I wish I can curse. I want to say F cancer right now, but Roger, our thoughts and prayers are deeply with you. If there's anything we can do, please don't hesitate to reach out and contact us, but we'll be keeping your sister in our thoughts, and we're hoping for the best.
All right, let me see here. We're at 44 minutes. We're doing pretty good on time. Straightforward in the house. Appreciate you. Aloha, MHH, Ohana. Always a wonderful day watching you guys work. Got Chad speaking the line. Hashtag state of being, Denver Broncos for life. Can't stop watching Daily Medicine. We love hearing it, my friend. We really do. Thank you. Ed jumping in again. Thanks, brother. And his message is, please tell the team I said hi. Thanks, Graham. All right, we'll make sure he sees that, brother. Appreciate you, Ed. And your shirt, by the way, should be seeing that any day now. You got a shirt coming your way. So make sure you send us that selfie when you do finally get your shirt. I'm guessing it's by the end of this week. So tomorrow or Friday is when there was a little batch that went out. There was Michaela, a couple others. So appreciate you, Gary, one of our Facebook superstars and supporters. You the man, Gary. All right, let's see here real quick. There's a couple other topics I want to get to content-wise. We did get Justin. We need James Boyd here. It's all good. Thank you. Right back at you, bro. James, you the man. Appreciate you. The support, Zach, we're getting from the community, it's just, we love seeing it, man. It just still blows our mind. I mean, on one level, Zach, I fully expected Broncos country, even on a short notice at the top of the show, we're saying, hey, show out. Here's what the cause is. Boom. I wasn't stunned. I wasn't surprised. I knew our community would step up, but it's still that part in the back of my mind that's just like, golly, man, we are the luckiest podcast on the planet.
It's Broncos country. That's really all I can say, Chad. You guys never cease to amaze me, and you really are the best fan base in the entire NFL. So on behalf of Graham and his foundation, we appreciate it so much.
Slink wants to know, or has a comment. Thank you, Slink Darnell. Connect with us on Twitter, by the way. And this is for everybody. Connect on Twitter, especially our superstars. We like to keep in touch, shout you out after each show, and, of course, keep the conversation going. Great show tonight, fellas. Let them hate. Amen, bro. Let them hate indeed. All right, the stream, John just did a jumperoo on me, so I'm going to scroll to the top. Okay, got that one from Straightforward. Bear with me one sec, gang. James, Slink, and in the shop with Willie. Not going to lie, says Willie. Love to see John on the pod more.
This is John's burner account. Come on. You've never seen Willie and John in the same room at the same time, have we, Chad?
I don't know. But he's not wrong. Maybe we need to create a Buona Beast segment at least once a week. Get that smiling face on camera.
The beast, the priest and the beast.
Priest and the Beast. Indeed.
Priest and the Beast. Yep.
Here's our Priest and the Beast segment. Shout out to who coined that? Was it Fat Cats? Thank you. Todd Ostendorf, Broncos for Breakfast is a great show. Nick does a really good job every time. Yeah, it's really cool, guys. If you're not checking it out, here's a quick preview for you. What is Broncos for Breakfast? Drive time show, Tuesday, Thursday. If you guys support the show, we're going to produce more of them instead of 2 days a week. Maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5, maybe it's 7. But nevertheless, Nick obviously has his expertise in the whole draft and evaluation sphere, and so does Scott Kennedy. Scott Kennedy was director of scouting with Scout, and he's been on the, scouting these prospects and players from the time they were in high school for a living, all the way up until, they reach the pros and whatnot. So you get some bona fide, true expertise when you watch Broncos for Breakfast Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8 a.m. Mountain Time. Jennifer King, appreciate you, Jennifer. Great job, MHH community and Broncos country, for your generosity. High five all. Boom, high five right back at you.
Thank you.
For real. Zach, I wanted to get your thoughts. Jeremy,
HuddleUpPod.com, Jeremy.
Say it again, Zach.
HuddleUpPod.com. All one word, HuddleUpPod.com. Get your swag on.
Get your swag on. It was an interesting article today that published from Luke Patterson. And I want to say it was James Palmer of NFL Network, who, I don't know if it was maybe just James questioning this himself or if it's things he's hearing, because he is a bona fide insider. He's NFL Network's Broncos insider. He's not just a beat writer. I mean, he's a beat writer, beat analyst, but he has his context. Let's just put it that way. And he is unconvinced, let's put it that way, Zach, that Trey Lance is even a fit for the Broncos And between you and me, I question it too, not so much because of any particular skill set or lack thereof, but because Pat Shurmur.
Yep. I also think it's a moot point because Trey Lance is going number 3 to San Francisco. I'll believe Mac Jones is that pick when I see Mac Jones holding up a Niners jersey next to Roger Goodell in Cleveland, Chad. So I don't think, as much as I would not mind the Broncos landing Trey Lance at number 9, he's the quarterback I would want at that spot. I don't think they're going to get the chance to. Even if he gets past San Francisco, you have teams that can trade up at 5, 6, 7, 8, and the Broncos I don't think are going to come up. But it's also a good point. He needs a year to learn. So a team that would get him, like the Niners, they would have Jimmy Garoppolo under center for this year. He can be the bridge quarterback. He can teach Trey Lance what he's going to teach him, and then Lance can take over next year. The Broncos don't have that luxury because Pat Shurmur and Vic Fangio, as you always talk about, they have to win now. They don't have the luxury of waiting, nor the offensive capacity to mold Trey Lance to what he could be. He's oil and water with someone like Pat Shurmur.
Yes, Tyler, you did miss Graham, but here's the good news. Rewind, right? Take the little cursor, scroll back to the beginning. Graham was very generous with his time. We were expecting, we told him 10, 15 minutes, something like that. He ended up staying quite a bit longer than that. So if you missed it live, you can always rewind and go check it out on demand. Michaela, the Duchess, again, appreciate you.
Thank you, Michaela.
She says, some more chatter for a good cause. You guys are my sanity pill. LOL.
And you guys for us. Trust us.
We don't need Prozac. We got superstars. We got the MHH community. All right. Here's Willie offering his services. Weekly pod. I'll do a weekly pod with John. We'll keep that in mind. Okay. And look, here we go. Another Mount Rushmore superstar from the top rope. By the way, guys, I apologize for touching my nose. My allergies are killing me right now. Brian Greenfield, a true OG and a Mount Rushmore superstar. Appreciate you, Brian. It's all for a good cause. We're matching every dollar tonight on Super Chat going to Graham Glasgow's foundation that is near and dear to his heart, the First Step Foundation. So appreciate you guys. Okay, I think I'm caught up. I think we're caught up here with the superstars. So last couple things I want to touch on here. Zach, did you see, while we were off yesterday, Albert Okwuegbunam, man, that name still gets me, released a video on Instagram showing his kind of a little video evidence of his progress and from rehab from a torn ACL, running in a straight line, no cutting, but still, man, I was very, very encouraged to see. He looked explosive. He looked like that big 6'5", almost 260-pound guy who can run a 4.49. It looks like he's getting close back to being that guy again.
Well, let me just say thank God for modern medicine, because a few years ago, a torn ACL was a year-long injury, and it would take a full year to come back from that, 12 total months. Nowadays, players are up and running in 4 or 5 or 6 months, Chad. So not totally surprising Albert O is looking like he's on the mend, and the sooner he's healthy, obviously, the sooner he can get back to mixing in with the offense and practicing with Noah Fant and being that combo and that duo the Broncos drafted him to be, the Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski, whatever you want to call the pairing. I mean, look at him run right there. You would never really know. No hitch in his giddy up. It's hard. You'd be hard pressed to look at him and see a guy that tore his ACL not that long ago. So it's encouraging, Chad, and I can't wait to see what he can do in year 2. Hopefully the play calling is more conducive to his success.
Well said. All right. Let me check something here real quick. We're going to probably get on out of here right on time, right at the 1 hour mark. Brian Greenfield, a.k.a. BG, can't wait to see how the draft plays out. Are all you guys going to be live like last year? Yeah, so that's the plan as far as the draft itself. So set your calendars, guys. Here's how it's shaking out between now and the draft, all right? Programming as usual, except Sunday night, instead of it being a traditional Huddle Up podcast night, it's the MHH mock draft roundtable. All right. It's an annual event that we've been doing now 5 years. Now we've only been streaming it for 2. I think this will be the second year we've streamed it actually, but we've always uploaded it as a podcast in years past. And this will be, just like last year where you'll see us all on camera, on screen. We'll go through, we'll deliberate, we'll make the picks and move on. So we'll get to kind of simulate in our own way a mock draft war room type discussion and debate, narrowing it down, winnowing it down, Zach.
And if anyone wants to see the long hyped debate between podcasts, you might get your wish on Sunday night because it could get pretty heated in terms of who thinks who should go where for Denver.
It could get spicy. Jay, appreciate it. And then as for the draft, Brian, to answer you specifically, yes. So the draft starts Thursday night, right? We get the first round. We're going to stream for the entire draft. We're probably going to have a pre-draft show as well. And but we'll for sure be streaming from, the time you hear that bell, right, the little draft jingle, we'll be streaming, and it'll be like a watch party with MHH. We're going to basically be reacting to every pick as it happens, analyzing what it means for the Broncos, etc. Yeah.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? I'm going to be smart enough this year not to stream the television broadcast and get put in Facebook jail again, right. Which was just a huge mistake. Should have known better, but and then, of course, Friday night is day 2. That's the second and third round. Now, remember, as far as your clocks, we will be streaming early on Friday. You're used to Dove Valley Deep Divers going live at 6. I want to say day 2 starts at 5 Mountain Time, 7 Eastern. So we'll be going live about an hour early, but it's going to be a long stream, man. It's 3 hours probably at least. And then Saturday, late morning, mid-morning for Broncos country in the Mountain Time Zone anyway. And we'll be streaming live for that. So it'll be similar to last year, minus us actually streaming the television broadcast.
I remember, though, for day 3, the boys were on there for like 7 hours straight. It was the longest stream I've ever seen in my entire life. I tip my hat to them, Chad. It's not easy being on there for that long and thinking of things to talk about and being analytical and insightful. So they did a great job, and I'm looking forward to getting on there on Thursday and Friday and talking draft. Exciting.
Chris Valdez, thank you for the super chat. How do you feel about Zaven Collins? I like him. I could live with him as a pick for the Broncos if they traded back in the first round. Right. I don't like him at 9, but I think he does need a little marinating, but he could be that, coverage ace, get a little development under the guiding hand of Vic and Ed Donatel and Reggie Herring, maybe.
I don't think he's the Brian Urlacher, as some people are painting him to be in his pre-draft comparisons, but I like Zaven more than most. I'm willing to overlook his slow 40 time. I know it wasn't the best showing. I just think he's going to be a really good pro. I mean, he can do everything you want from an inside linebacker. He can cover. He can play the run. He's easily coachable. He can easily learn a system. I think whether in Denver or elsewhere, he's going to be a good NFL player. Maybe among the better linebackers when it's all said and done, Chad, looking back on it 5 years down the road, one of the better linebackers to come out of this draft class.
Christian, we did get your super. If you rewind it, it was literally within the first 3 or 4 minutes after we said goodbye to Graham. We did get to your topic, which I think, if I remember right, it had to do with the 2021 outlook, and we did get to that. So you'll rewind and see that. Thank you for the super chat support, too, for you tonight. Appreciate you. Love you. We try not to miss, but if we do miss, we do want you to hold us accountable because we try to get to every single super every single night, as you know. So thank you for the support, bro. All right, last one, and then we got to dip on out of here tonight. Michael, again, not his first super chat of the night either. Sorry I missed the show. I'll run it back later. See, that's one of the marvels of modern technology, guys, or the way we stream is if you miss it live, charge it to the game. You can always watch or rewatch the episode on demand. Now, there are a lot of channels that delete their live streams or don't allow their live streams to be watched on demand. So it's, they basically say, look, if you're not with us live, you're going to miss the content. We don't do that. We leave our live streams up for you guys to go back and listen to, watch on demand. And then also we cut them up and make it as an actual podcast that gets uploaded to Apple and all that stuff too. So Michael, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, Michael and I have interacted on Twitter. He's a good follow on there, and he's quickly becoming a Super Chat superstar. So hopefully, Michael, you've come around on Zach Wilson as quarterback 1.
Yeah, and by the way, last thing I want to touch on, and then we'll get out of here, was the anonymous. We're going to do an article on this at MHH, but the anonymous. So the Athletic had an interesting piece today that was, sourcing a bunch of different NFL coaches about different top prospects in the class. And so you would get, quarterback coach 1, quarterback coach 2. You don't know who they are. All right. You don't get names, but one of them said something to the effect. Actually, Zach, I think I sent you the screenshot so I can quote it. I can't show you guys on screen. I don't have time to pull it up for you. But here's what was said by this anonymous. No, it was a screenshot. Hold on one second. This anonymous QB coach in the NFL relative to Zach Wilson. The question posed was, what do you like? What do you don't like about Zach Wilson, the BYU quarterback? And he said, let me find this here real quick. He said, I could see Zach being a Pro Bowl quarterback quickly, like Justin Herbert, or I could see him being like Drew Lock. If I had to bet money, I'd bet it doesn't work out for Wilson with the Jets. Zach playing right away in that market with his play style, that'd make me really nervous. And unlike Trey Lance and Justin Fields, at least they're 6'4", 230 and can run. So if he starts, screwing up, I can't quote him directly here because it's a curse. We can get out of the game running the ball like Josh Allen did. And then last thing here, I expected him to be Drew Lockish in the interviews, whatever that means. I want to ask you what you think that means. I did not get that vibe. He was great, smart, inferring obviously that maybe Drew wasn't great, wasn't smart in his interviews. He knows we're not going to take him and could have been a total not cool guy. All right. Sorry. And it probably wouldn't have hurt him, but he wasn't. Zach Wilson knew his offense would put on bad clips, and he took ownership, all of that, Zach. So what's your reaction? Then we'll get out of here.
So he can be like Drew Lock. What is being like Drew Lock? Going 4-1 as a rookie, then getting screwed over by a pandemic, by injuries, by poor coaching, by poor supporting cast. I mean, they're talking about Drew Lock like he's Ryan Leaf, Jamarcus Russell, and Paxton Lynch all rolled up into one quarterback, Chad. But this is exactly why we have the Let 'em Hate hashtag. This is exactly why we warn Broncos country not to listen to the national media. Even if the national media is surveying those in the NFL, no one really has an idea of what Drew Lock is, Chad. And even Graham said about Pro Football Focus how he doesn't put too much stock in it. Everyone has their own narrative. Everyone has their own motive. And whether that's an opposing quarterback, whether that's an opposing media member, an opposing analyst, it doesn't really matter. They all view Lock under the same prism. All I can say to that is let him hate. I think he will prove all of these people wrong, even those in the NFL that are judging him. Oh, he can be great, but he can also be Drew Lock. What does that even mean? Why is Lock being classified as the worst quarterback of all time? I mean, are my eyes deceiving me, Chad, or your eyes? I don't think so.
And I don't know. I mean, I find it curious. I wish there was a way to, get the information here, but I find it curious that this QB coach inferred that Drew Lock in his pre-draft interviews with teams, I guess, didn't come off as very football IQ-ish, smart, savvy. Maybe he came off as aloof and kind of stuck up or arrogant. I don't know what he was inferring. But, definitely interesting. We'll analyze it more. We're going to have an article coming to milehighhuddle.com on this, so look for that. Christian, it's all good, dude. Thanks, buddy. And by the way, is it Christian or is it Christine? I'm curious. I've been saying Christian. Hopefully that's the correct pronunciation. Zach, we would be remiss if we didn't also shout out the superstar senders on Facebook tonight. Dave Glassman, love you, bro. Gary Leeds Palmer, love you, bro. Zebulon, love you. Jeremy, Victor, Gerald, Brad, each and every one of you. Most of you, if not all, are supporters on Facebook as well. So shout out to you guys. We truly are lucky to have the community and audience we have.
Yes, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you.
But guys, with that being said, we got to dip on out of here. Now, stay tuned because on Twitter, and then we'll address it again on tomorrow night's show, but on Twitter, we'll send out a tweet that has a total cumulative, we'll add up what happened on Super Chat tonight, the donations from the community, matched by MHH, how it gets donated to First Step Foundation. So look for confirmation of that on social media. And then we'll, of course, maybe, talk about it to open up tomorrow night's show. But Willie, with regard to Locke, is saying the absolute disrespect. Hashtag let him hate. Indeed. But guys, thanks for joining us. Zach, really fun show. Had a great time talking with you, talking with Graham. Credit again to John, to Buona Beast, getting everything set up perfect for tonight. So he's the man of the hour, Buona Beast. Show him some love. But with that, dude, sign us on out of here, and we'll circle back tomorrow night.
Yeah, we appreciate Graham coming on the show, giving us his time. It was a very insightful conversation, very real conversation, nothing very platitudinal or very cliche about it. So we appreciate that. We appreciate everyone interacting with us tonight, sending us your support and your questions and your super chats. That is, once again, his foundation, Graham Glasgow, the First Step Foundation, very reputable cause. I would encourage anyone out there to check it out and consider donating to it. We will be back, though, tomorrow night, chat, for the Mile High Mailbag. It's our favorite podcast of the week. So if you have any questions or comments about the Broncos, about Locke, the draft, Glasgow, anything relating to Denver, fire us those questions or comments on Twitter at Chad and Jensen, at Kelberman NFL, or at John K. MHH on Twitter. We will see you guys, though, 6 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Eastern. Kathy, thank you. Thank you to everyone out there. Have a great night, guys. And as always, go Broncos.
You've been listening to the Huddle Up Podcast. Join Broncos Country's deep divers at milehighhuddle.com to keep the conversation going.